everybody, my name is Lolli and welcome to my first ever Let's Play video of Dragon Age Origins. This game was created by BioWare and published by EA Games for the PC, Xbox 360, and the PS3 in 2009. I will say before we start off, I have played this game a couple times. Well, more than a couple. Maybe an upwards of 7. So I'm definitely not going into this blind. I will be doing some things differently, but that's mostly just dialogue options and not actual choices. I do have a few mods installed, which will be listed in the description below. And as for DLC, I do have a bit of DLC except for Golems of Amgarak and the Darkspawn Chronicles, and neither of those I will be doing, mostly because they do not relate to the main story or any of the story at all. Well, they do, but not extremely. So yeah, I will be mostly doing story-related DLC, and yeah, as I said, I'm not going into this blind. I do know what I'm doing, I know what playthrough I'm going for, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, without further ado, let us begin a new game. We start off here with a cutscene.
The Chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the Darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption. They returned as monsters, the first of the Darkspawn. They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The Dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall, and from the deep roads, the Darkspawn drove at us again and again, until finally we neared annihilation. Until the Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness, and prevailed. It has been 4 centuries since that victory, and we have kept our vigil. We have watched and waited for the Darkspawn to return. But those who once called us heroes have forgotten. We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long. Even be too late. For I have seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon. Maker, help us all.
And with that, we finally reached the character creation screen. As it says here, we have 6 distinct opening stories that you play through, aka origins, and each of these determine how other characters can respond to you. We have the options of male or female. I'm going to be playing a female. And we have the race options of human, elf, and dwarf, each of which have different origins depending on the class I take. Human warriors and rogues both have the human noble origin, whereas human mages have the magi origin. Elf warriors and rogues have the origin stories of Dalish elf or city elf, and the mages have this, obviously, the story origin of mages again. The difference between human mages and elf mages is obviously the race, but anyways, they do have different surnames. I believe the human one is a distant relative of the protagonist of Dragon Age 2, which is kind of neat. So yeah. Then we have dwarves. We have warriors and rogues, no mages because of lore reasons, which are explained much later in the game. We have the options of dwarf commoner and dwarf noble. I will be playing a human rogue noble, obviously, mostly because there is a questline later in the game that requires you to have stealth and pickpocketing. Pickpocketing you can have on any character, and stealth is exclusive to rogues, so that's why I'm playing a rogue. Anyways, next screen.
Greetings.
Now we finally reached the actual character creation screen. I will be cutting this out because I'm sure nobody wants to see about 30 minutes of character creation. So, yeah, I'll see you in a bit. And with that, we are back. That did not take me nearly as long as I thought it would. That actually only took me about 10 or so minutes. So yeah, this is my character. Her name is Noxus Kuzland. And the voice I'm using is the wise voice, which sounds like...
I need buy, please.
Yeah. So, yeah, next screen. Now, since I'm a rogue, obviously the primary attributes that I'm going into are dexterity and cunning, though I will be putting some points into strength up till 20, I believe, so I can get some of the higher end armor. So I'm going to be putting 2 points into strength, 2 points into dexterity, and 1 point into cunning. Cunning also plays along with your persuasion skill. Strength plays along with intimidation skill. So, yeah. And next screen. Now with this, speaking of persuasion skills, coercion. That's where I'm putting my only point that I have to spend in coercion, because coercion is probably one of the single-handedly most useful skills in the entire game. Every persuasion opportunity that pops up, anything that says cunning in brackets, that's coercion. So, yeah. We also have combat training spec'd into and poison making by default. I will not be making many poisons, nor will I be making many traps. Though one of my characters will have a point into trap making because there is a quest that has something to deal with it in one of the first towns. So yeah, weapon training unlocks new levels of skills, or talents, not skills. So yeah, I will be getting those later, but right now I'm going to be focusing on coercion, and here's stealing or pickpocketing that I need for later. For the talents that I'm going to be putting points into, I'm going to put a point into Deft Hands, which is our lockpicking skill, and Below the Belt, which is just another little attack skill, which leads me to some of the other skills that I want later on, namely lethality and evasion. So yeah, I will mostly be maxing out the default rogue skill tree instead of dual weapon and archery, though I will be a dual wielding rogue instead of archery because I don't really like archery in Dragon Age Origins. So yeah, without further ado, let's play. I will be playing on normal. And we have another cutscene coming up. If it would load. Please. Thank you.
For generations, your family, the Kuzlans, has stewarded the lands of Highever, earning the loyalty of your people with justice and temperance. When your country was occupied by the Orlesian Empire, your father and grandfather served the embattled kings of your land. Today, your elder brother takes up House Kuzlan's banner in service to the crown, not against the men of Orlais, but against the bestial darkspawn rising in the south.
I trust then that your troops will be here shortly.
I expect they will start arriving tonight, and we can march tomorrow. I apologize for the delay, my lord. This is entirely my fault.
No. The appearance of the Darkspawn in the south has us all scrambling, doesn't it? I only received the call from the king a few days ago myself. I'll send my eldest off with my men. You and I will ride tomorrow just like the old days.
True. Though we both had less grey in our hair then. And we fought Orlesians, not monsters.
At least the smell will be the same. I'm sorry, Pop, I didn't see you there. How? You remember my daughter?
How could
I
he
see
not?
she's become a lovely young woman. Pleased to see you again, my dear.
So yeah, now we're able to pick our dialogue options. I will try my best not to narrate over when other characters are speaking. Though, if it's important, I will probably interject and say, like, hey, make a note of this or something. So, yeah, I will be narrating over my dialogue options, because even though we had a voice selection thing in the character creation screen, that only counts towards combat dialogue, not actual dialogue. So yeah, I will be narrating over this. And you, Arlhow.
My son Thomas asked after you. Perhaps I should bring him with me next time.
To what end?
Ha! To what end, she says. So glib, too. She's just like her mother when she talks like that.
See what I contend with, Hal? There is no telling my fierce girl anything these days. Make her bless her heart.
Quite talented, I'm sure. One to watch.
At any rate, Pop, I summoned you for a reason. While your brother and I are both away, I'm leaving you in charge of the castle.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Only a token force is remaining here, and you must keep peace in the region. You know what they say about mice when the cat is away, yes?
Nope.
There's also someone you must meet. Please, show Duncan in.
That chest bump.
It is an honor to be a guest within your hall, Tyrn Kuzland.
Your lordship, you didn't mention that a Grey Warden would be present.
Duncan arrived just recently, unannounced. Is there a problem?
Of course not. But a guest of this stature demands certain protocol. I am at a disadvantage.
We rarely have the pleasure of seeing one in person, that's true. Pup, Brother Aldous taught you who the Grey Wardens are, I hope.
He said they defeated the Darkspawn long ago.
Not permanently, I fear.
Crap.
Without their warning of the Darkspawn rising now, half the nation could have been overrun before we'd had a chance to react. Duncan is looking for recruits before joining us and his fellow Wardens in the south. I believe he's got his eye on Sir Gilmore.
If I might be so bold, I would suggest that your daughter is also an excellent candidate.
Honor though that might be, this is my daughter we're talking about.
I think I'd rather like that idea, Father.
I've not so many children that I'll gladly see them all off to battle. Unless you intend to invoke the right of conscription.
Have no fear. While we need as many good recruits as we can find, I've no intention of forcing the issue.
Pup, can you ensure that Duncan's requests are seen to while I'm gone?
Don't strain my abilities or anything.
And don't strain my patience. In the meantime, find Fergus, and tell him to lead the troops to Ostagar ahead of me.
But I'd like to stay and talk to Duncan.
You'll have plenty of time after we're gone. We must discuss the battle plans in the south. Be a good lass and do as I've asked. We'll talk soon.
And with that, we're finally in the game. We're gonna be bombarded with quest and codex entries for a few seconds, though. They finally cleared out. Anyways, yeah, we're finally in the game. This game, as it is kind of old, it has aged sort of well, unlike some other games. So yeah. What's special in this game is that instead of a jump button, you press spacebar to pause during combat or any other situation. I will not be using this that often, though on certain situations I will probably use it if the AI decides to act stupid on me. So, yeah. If you press tab, you highlight everything around you, including NPCs that you could talk to, enemies that you can kill, doors that you can interact with, and containers that you can open. Yeah, but before we go find our brother, we're gonna stay here and talk to our father once more.
Shouldn't you be off to your brother, as I ask?
Are you sure you'll be alright?
Your brother and I go into battle, not an afternoon tea. Who knows what will happen to us? I will tell you, however, you're my darling daughter. I love you.
No.
And I trust you completely to carry on the Kuzlin name if the worst should happen. But don't worry about me, dear girl. You'll have enough to occupy your mind while I'm gone.
Is sending all our forces south a good idea?
When the king demands it. In fact, not sending our forces south would be a distinctly bad idea. Don't worry, pup. You shouldn't see many problems, but I want you to prepare the men left here, in case.
In case of what?
Legends of the Blights tell of horrible things. These Darkspawn once threatened many lands. If we can't hold them, you must prepare for the worst.
And what can I do with a handful of guards?
I trust you to do what is best. And don't be afraid to ask your mother's advice. She's Ferelden-born, strong, just as you are. But let's not speak of ominous things. We shall assume that all will go well, and the Maker will watch over us.
And where do you think Fergus is?
Upstairs in his chambers, no doubt. Saying goodbye to Oriana and your nephew.
Okay, I'll go now.
I'll talk to you soon. Just let me finish my meeting with Duncan.
No, I'm talking to Duncan.
I'm sorry, but I believe your father wishes to talk to the Arl and myself alone.
Oh, come on. May we speak later?
Your father has left you in charge of the castle? Then I will see you at dinner tomorrow, if not sooner.
I look forward to it.
As do I. Until then.
And then we get to talk to Hal.
Yes?
Your son is interested in me?
The topic has come up from time to time. The young and their infatuations.
I don't remember returning the interest.
That speaks to your nature, not ours. I can't say I approve of the freedom your father allows.
How could you not?
If something did happen, well, we'd address it as befits a family of our stature.
Don't hold your breath.
Your father's permissiveness has made you willful, indeed. It may not always serve you so well.
How long have you and father been friends?
We fought together under King Maric when he drove the Orlesians out of Ferelden. Heady times. The years since have not held the same promise. It's not something a youth would understand. It will be good to ride beside your father again.
You knew King Maric?
Your father hasn't spoken of our time with him? That man took care of his friends. As they say, he was large as life and twice as tall. It's too bad Cailan isn't half that.
You don't think much of King Cailan.
I think of him as much as he thinks at all.
That's enough, Hal. You speak of our king.
The girl did ask, your lordship. As per the latitude you allow. I merely offered my opinion.
Jeez. I trust the delay with your men is nothing serious.
Poor weather, I believe. Their progress has been slow, but it's nothing you need worry about.
You told my father the delay was your fault.
In a manner of speaking. If I had reinforced our border levies earlier, my troops could have left before the rains. I confess, my confidence in your father allowed me some complacency. I guess that makes it as much his fault.
I just want to wish you well, Arlhow.
I thank you. That is quite unnecessary.
And with that, we're finally going to leave this area, and there are some tutorials about exploration and plot helpers and such. So yeah, speaking of plot helpers, it seems that I don't have them on. And now I do. Anyways, instead of heading right like we're supposed to, I'm going to head straight ahead. Find some stuff like this weapon stand that has a mace in it, a deep mushroom, and over here another deep mushroom. Deep mushrooms are used to make potions, or not
Good
potions,
evening, my lady.
poisons. And yeah, stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not going to be making many potions
As
or
you say.
poisons. God. So yeah. In here, before we talk to Mother Malol, there's a book we can read that gives us a new codex entry, and another book over
It
here
is
that we can
begun.
read. I won't be reading the codex entries until a later date, probably in just like an episode of its own. I'm not sure though. So yeah, let's talk to Mother Malol.
Maker, prepare a place for us. Redeem our world from sin. Forgive our transgressions.
Maker, forgive us all!
Have you come to pray for your brother and father? I'd be happy to ask for the Maker's blessings with you.
I would appreciate that, Mother Malol.
Please, child, call me Malol. I've known you since you were a wee babe after all. Creator of the sky, the land, and the sea. Hear your people in our time of need.
Make her watch over us.
Let no man have cause to fear the shadows. Let their souls be lifted upon your return. So let it be.
Make her forgive us all.
There now. I'll be keeping a vigil tonight. You're welcome to come. There are many more who must receive the Maker's blessings before they leave. If you would excuse me.
Thank you, Malol. Wait, could you answer a few questions?
I cannot.
Oh, darn.
Many await my attendance before they march into the unknown. We shall talk once the soldiers have departed.
Alright. And with that, since there's nothing else in this room that we can do, we're going to head straight again, instead of going to find our brother. Because obviously this is so much more important. Over here is another locked door with another
Very
locked
well.
chest that gives us greenstone. Greenstone you can just sell. I don't think it's used for anything in crafting. I might be mistaken though.
It shall be done.
Though I do know that I have to save a gemstone called garnets for a quest that's later on. Blank vellum are also just trash loot that you can sell at any point.
Good evening, my lady.
Good evening. So yeah. Down here, we come across another door
It is begun.
with another chest, which gives us elf fruit. Elf fruit is used to create potions. Obviously, as the little tutorial thing down here says. I have not actually acquired a health poultice, but it's there. In here, there are just two servants that you can talk to.
We will serve you while the Terran is away.
That sounds a bit creepy, but okay.
A whole Darkspawn army in the south? Surely it can't be true.
Surely it can. Anyways. I'm going to head
Very
back
well.
through here, because there's another little thing we can go do. Over here, we can enter here and
Oh, my lady, we were just,
playing cards.
well, the treasury's safe. I'm not even sure why the Terran stationed us here.
Don't worry about it, men. I won't say anything.
We appreciate that, my lady. Thank you.
Yep. Over here, there is a locked door that requires a key that we cannot get into just yet. So, yeah. With that, we're going to come back up here, and we're finally going to move on.
There you are.
Your mother told me the Terran had summoned you, so I didn't want to interrupt.
Good thing too, considering Father's company.
Yes, I saw the Isle arrive. I fear your hound has the kitchens in uproar once again. Nan is threatening to leave.
She was my nanny before she was the cook. Nan won't leave.
Your mother disagrees. She insists you collect the dog, and quickly. You know these Mabari hounds. He'll listen to his mistress, but anyone else risks having an arm bitten off.
Oh, he knows better than to hurt anyone.
I'm not willing to test that. You're quite lucky to have your own Mabari warhound, you know. Smart enough not to talk, my father used to say. Of course, that means he's easily bored. Nan swears he confounds her just to amuse himself. At any rate, your mother would have me accompany you until the matter is settled, shall we?
Where is my mother exactly?
She was entertaining Lady Landra and her son when I left her. Perhaps in the atrium? Before we go, my lady, might I beg a question? I've heard from several people that a Grey Warden is here. Is that true?
His name is Duncan. I met him.
Then, is it also true that this Grey Warden was asking after me?
He intends to test you for recruitment.
Maker's breath. Are you certain?
Yes.
Can you imagine? Me, a Grey Warden? It would be everything I've dreamed of. Of course, I shouldn't get ahead of myself. Pardon my outburst.
Of course. Now that we have a new party member, we can control him by either pressing the F2 key or the F1 key to switch between each party member. We can control him obviously the same way as we control our character. However, we cannot talk to other people without it redirecting to our main character. So if I try to talk to myself, nothing happens. Great. So, yeah.
We really should go after your hound, my lady, before he does something worse.
Oh, chill. Do you know much about the Grey Wardens?
Only what everyone hears. I never expected to actually see one. So few of them are here in Ferelden.
Have you ever seen Darkspawn?
Never. You hear about Darkspawn attacking homesteads and travelers, but I thought they were just stories.
Are Grey Wardens really as skilled as the legends say?
I hear they only recruit the most skilled. It'd be disappointing if that wasn't true.
Okay. What happens if the Grey Wardens recruit you?
I only know that once you become a Grey Warden, your old life is over. There's no going back.
Yep. Let's talk about something else.
As you wish. But what if the Grey Warden tries to recruit you? Have you thought about it?
Why would he recruit me?
Begging your pardon, my lady, but you are no ordinary woman. You're strong, skilled, and easily the equal of any man on the field or off. The Grey Wardens would be fools to overlook you.
He assured my father he wouldn't recruit me.
He could change his mind. Grey Wardens are notorious for doing whatever is necessary to fight the Darkspawn. Scribe Aldous once told me that the Grey Wardens used to burn entire villages to keep them out of Darkspawn hands.
So they'll kill people to protect them?
If they have to. A few villages are a small price to pay to save the world.
I wish you would recruit me.
Too bad. It's unlikely that the Wardens would risk your father's wrath.
Why aren't you marching with our men?
I would were it my choice. Your father decided I should remain with the complement guarding the castle. I hope that's because this Grey Warden wishes to see me.
Tell me about yourself, Sir Gilmore.
Well, you know I've served your father for years, since my own father sent me to squire here. My father is a minor lord in the Bannorn, but our land is little more than a glorified farmstead. I do miss it, though. The valleys of the Bannorn are beautiful this time of year. I take great pride in serving the town. Still, if I had the opportunity to join the Grey Wardens, I wouldn't hesitate.
You'd really leave my father's service?
With his blessing, I imagine. Joining the Wardens is the highest service one can render.
I really don't need you to accompany me, you know.
Oh, it's no bother. I should make sure that Nan is settled anyhow, or your mother will have my hide.
Let's keep
Of
going.
course, my lady. Lead on.
So obviously my attempt to get rid of him does not work. Anyways.
Good evening, my lady.
Good evening. In here, we have another little area.
Very
Through
well.
this door, there's another book.
It is begun.
The Culture of Ferelden. And there's another book. And another book. Now, each codex entry you collect gives you some XP, which obviously aids in the process of leveling up. Right here, actually.
Good evening, my lady.
Yep. Right here is Brother Aldous.
Hello, my dear girl. By chance, I am beginning to teach these young squires about your family's history.
Do we have to? History is boring.
Boys, you are referring to the Couslands, the very family in whose castle you live. Show some respect.
Still the same taskmaster, I see.
If the mind is not exercised, it withers just as the body does. Perhaps you'd care to join me in teaching the lesson?
Quite familiar with the subject matter.
Perhaps you could make the topic more palatable for these lads and their minuscule intellects.
I doubt that's possible.
Unfortunate, but as you wish.
Does that mean we have to listen to you now?
Silence! I will not have you two becoming smart-mouthed hooligans. Perhaps you should go. I doubt they need any more distraction. I'm just going to settle in here and apparently just talk to myself for all the good I'm doing. Don't ask myself all this, why do you do this?
So yeah, through that there would have been a few more dialogue options, but unfortunately I didn't take them. So I'm very sorry. So yeah, with that we're gonna be moving on actually. Never mind. Anyways, going this way, there is nothing in this room, I don't think. Yeah, no, nothing. Then we have to
Good
come
evening,
over
my
here
lady.
to get our dog. Actually, first, we're gonna come down here to find several sacks containing elf fruit.
It is begun.
Another deep mushroom. More sacks, which have an iron ring. It's nice. And that's it. And there's a cat. I can't click on the cat, but it's there. So yeah, over here. I'm gonna quick
Get that
not-
bloody mutt out of the larder.
But mistress, it won't let us near.
If I can't get into that larder, I'll skin both of you useless elves. I swear it.
Calm down, good woman. We've come to help.
You and you. Your bloody mongrel keeps getting into my larder. That beast should be put down.
Perhaps you should lock your larder tighter.
If I locked it any tighter, we couldn't get in.
Oh dear. Mistress, calm down, please.
That's it. I'll quit. Inform the turner. I'll go and cook at some nice estate in the Banorn.
Nan, please. We'll get the dog. Calm down.
Just get him gone. I've enough to worry about with a castle full of hungry soldiers. You two, stop standing there like idiots. Get out of the way.
And with that, I am going to quick save, like I said I was going to, and enter in here.
I shall do it.
Oh, look at that mess. How did he even get in here?
Hey, buddy. Are you trying to tell me something, boy?
He does seem like he's trying to tell you something. Wait. Did you hear that?
And like any good person, I'm going to name my dog BARKSPAWN. So
These
yeah.
creatures have no true reason to fight us.
What fools they?
The dogs will dine on your corpses!
We must gain the advantage.
I shall do it.
We must fight!
It is begun.
Giant rats? It's like the start of every bad adventure tale my grandfather used to tell. Your hound must have chased them in through their holes. Looks like he wasn't raiding the larder after all.
It certainly looks that way.
Those were rats from the Kokari Wilds. Best not to tell Nan. She's upset enough as it is. But seeing as you've got your Mabari well in hand, I'll be on my way. I'm to prepare for the arrival of more of the Isle's men.
Jeez. Love that codex entry. And some more elfru. And a sack with another deep mushroom. So yeah.
There he is, as brazen as you please, licking his chops after helping himself to the roast, no doubt.
Actually, he was defending your larder from rats. Big ones.
What? Rats? Not the large grey ones.
They'll rip you to shreds, they will!
See, now you've gone and scared the servants. I expect those filthy things are dead.
Yes, the rats are dead. It's quite a mess, in fact.
Oh, I bet that dog led those rats into there to begin with. Oh, don't even start with the sad eyes. I'm immune to your so-called charms. Here then, take these pork bits and don't say that Nan never gives you anything. Bloody dog. Thank you, my lady. Now we can get to work. That's right, you two. Quit standing about.
Lovely. And with that, I'm afraid I'm all out of time. So, yeah. If you like this episode, be sure to tune in next time for another episode. So, yeah. Hope you all have a good day. See ya.